Okay, so this video is part of a video series, a playlist for that matter, of about 12 videos. In this entire video series, I showcase how you can create a mobile or web app using Figma and auto layout, as well as using assets and components and colors and variables, all the good stuff. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to create a mobile app that's interactive, a mobile app that looks good, and a mobile app that's designed for a modern device, something like the iPhone 15. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so I have the preview mode activated on Figma itself. And essentially, as I've shown in the intro, is we want to kind of have that functionality where we can play around with it using the preview or prototype mode within Figma. In this entire video series, we're going to create this entire mobile app from the ground up. I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to show you how to do it properly. And the other thing we're also going to use is auto layout. Auto layout is just a great way because it saves time. You don't need to double check your pixels. It kind of does everything for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is create 2 frames that we're going to work on throughout the entire design. I'm also going to keep the existing frames that are already created so that we can kind of go back and forth on it. And throughout this video process, I'll show you how I've sourced icons and all that kind of good stuff. So make sure to subscribe to everything. Make sure to follow the video sequence. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the frame tool at the top left, and you're going to see on the right hand side, it's going to provide us with different devices. Now, it's not necessarily connected to the device itself. It's more the width and height of the screen size itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drop one in. It's going to randomly drop it into the canvas. So I'm just going to take it and I'm going to drag it to where I want. I'm very particular on how and where I want my canvas or my canvas items or my frames or my groups to be. So I've just kind of move it there, and I'm going to create 2 of them because we're going to replicate throughout this whole process. We're going to replicate these 2 frames that I have. Hold in Alt and hold in Shift so that I can just basically duplicate it. And on the left hand side, you're going to see that we have our layers, and you're going to see our 2 frames that we just created. I'm just going to start off by renaming them. I'm going to call the first one dashboard. The second one, same as what I did there. I'm just going to call it living room. Again, naming convention is completely up to you. Some people follow different type of naming conventions, and it's just what works best for you. All right, so I have the 2 frames here now. Let's quickly touch base on auto layout because this can be a daunting task. It is something that's been with Figma for quite a while, but about 10 months ago, about a year ago, they really did an overhaul of it and they've significantly improved it, which personally for someone like me that's been using it for such a long time, been using Figma for such a long time, and even XD prior to that, it is a great improvement. Okay, so with auto layout, I'm just gonna quickly drag an item here and we're gonna touch base on it. But throughout the video series, we'll definitely go into more intricate detail with auto layout for sure. So with auto layout, it's all about groups and how you group everything and how you have containers and inner containers. But with this specific video, I just want to touch base on a few basics of auto layout. So to achieve that, I'm just going to use this frame that we've dropped, our dashboard, and I'm going to convert it into an auto layout by clicking it on the right hand side. When we do that though, you'll see automatically that the width and the height is set to fixed. Because we actually have a rectangle inside of our actual frame, I basically have this right here, the rectangle, and I can change this to hug content. You're going to see though that it's going to change our frame width and height for the iPhone 15, which is not really what we want, but I'm just going to show it to you. And when you hug it, you're going to see that it's slightly changed. And when we change the height to hug it as well, you're going to see that it's moved everything up. The question is, why did it do this? Well, the primary reason for that is when you look at auto layout, you're going to see that we have padding, horizontal padding, and we have vertical padding. You can also click on it to have more in-depth views so that you can have left, right, top, bottom. But when you go and change that, you're going to see everything starts changing, and we are kind of going off the beaten track here because we want to design this for the iPhone 15 screen. I'm just going to hit Control Z and undo what I did here. Primary thing that you need to keep in mind when using auto layout, you want to keep your frame or your artboard or whatever you want to call it, you want to make sure that when you activate auto layout, you want to use the fixed width and fixed height. All right, so those are the basics of auto layout, and it's just an overview. As we progress through these videos, I'll show you more tricks, more settings that you can adjust and play around with. But for now, I also want to touch base that for us to create something like this, we also would need some media. In the next video, I'm going to show you how I got my icons, a quick and easy way in Figma to do that. I'm using a plugin, so make sure to check that video out as well. And also, when it comes to the actual images, a lot of designers already know this, but I'm using a website called Pexels. It is a royalty-free website that you can use, and you can use it for commercial, personal, or business use. All right, so those are the basics, and let's move on to the next video where I will showcase how I'm sourcing the icons. And trust me, this is all going to come together. I know this sounds very overwhelming. I know that I've touched base on auto layout, very high level, but trust me, when we go through this entire series, I'll show it to you in detail. So make sure to check it out.